there's tremendous dissension and chaos in the DA's office because they have no case. I can confirm that from sources as well. It is total disarray. They're all super upset. It's an embarrassment and total disgrace what this Soros-backed prosecutor is trying to do for his own political gain and to persecute the 45th president of the United States.
Not persecute, Kimberly. Prosecute. That's what the district attorney's office is trying to do. Alvin Bragg knows exactly what crimes Trump has committed. This is not a personal vendetta. This has nothing to do with politics. This is the law of the United States of America. And the idea that the people who, the lawyers who might be working on this case are upset and, they can't believe that Bragg will be wanting to try and indict a former president is simply the stuff of fantasy. I love how she uses sources. This is a Trump thing, isn't it? He's referred throughout his tenure as, who are these sources? And he hates it because he can't control it. He can't sue these people, or he can't fire these people, or he can't have these people ostracized or publicly humiliate these sources because invariably they are anonymous. And so he's been trying to convince the public over the years that anything that is connected to sources is untrue and not based in fact. And of course, journalism and legal services for hundreds of years have relied on sources to tip them off and to provide information that could help bring a crime to a conclusion. And so here we are with Kimberly Guilfoyle doing her best as a surrogate of Donald Trump, going out there, making a public statement. And this is what Trump's doing. He's asking all of his people, you've got Rudy Giuliani doing it, you've got Jesse Waters on Fox doing it, all saying the similar stuff to give the impression that the whole country is flabbergasted that this particular office is seeking to bring an indictment against Donald Trump. And that's actually not what's happening in the country. I mean, Trump also called for protests, you may remember. He said, you must protest this. He said it last Saturday when he announced that he was going to be arrested. Well, the protests have not materialized. There was like 15 people outside Trump Tower and another 12 people outside the Manhattan DA's office. That is not the mass protest. That is not, the whole country getting behind Donald Trump. His base is shrinking, his support is diminishing, and he's not happy about it. And you to look at Truth Social and see the stream of consciousness tweets or truths that he's posting. He is increasingly angry. He is now using very explicit language, calling out Alvin Bragg by name, making very specific allegations against Alvin Bragg, not realizing that, you can't say things like this without consequences. And a lot of the stuff that, there's this hatred that's coming out of his face is really in itself evidence against him. It just exposes him as being a nasty, evil criminal. It exposes him. It doesn't show that, I'm innocent. That's not the kind of guy I am. I'm a genuine person. I would never pay off a porn star so she, didn't go public about me before an election. He's not that guy. I mean, just look at the rhetoric against Alvin Bragg and the Manhattan DA's office. It is the same evil and hatred that he employs throughout his business dealings and throughout his presidency. And so, really, the true measure of the man is being exposed now. Be smart, don't start, kick the habit, put it out before it puts you out. All phrases we've heard 100 times, yet we still continue to have bad habits. Our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. Fume is not a vape, it's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. Instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious natural flavors. Fume's new version 2 model is snappy and tactile. With an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap, your fingers will always have something to do. I got one for my sister, and she loves the simplicity of utilizing flavored air through a stylish device to help her with bad habits. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do that. It's Fume's goal to make switching easy and even enjoyable. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who've successfully switched when other solutions just didn't work. Head to tryfume.com and use code WEEKEND to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. That's tryfum.com and use code WEEKEND to save an additional 10% off your order today. But a very interesting twist to this whole story is Trump publicly saying on Saturday last that he was going to be arrested by the Manhattan DA's office on Tuesday. Well, Tuesday has been and gone, and it never happened. There was no arrest, and it turned out that the grand jury had no plans to reconvene. And so in the process of making that announcement, which I presume was so that he could fundraise, play the victim card, there are rumors or reports that he wanted to be, taken out of Mar-a-Lago in handcuffs so that he could turn it into like a theatrical spectacle. It's being said that by saying that, even just announcing that he was going to be arrested, and then causing 3 congressional Republicans to write this letter to the Manhattan DA's office requesting from Alvin Bragg, because of this impending arrest, that they want to investigate the investigator, that they want to get information from him about this case so that they can do their own investigation because they think it's illegal what he's doing. That in itself, making that announcement that he's going to be arrested and then having those Republicans write that letter, which Alvin Bragg incidentally brushed off with a response that basically said, it was 3 pages long, but it basically said, no. You have no jurisdiction over me. And that is the important separation of politics, politicians, and US law. The actual approach to the Manhattan DA's office by these Republicans is in itself illegal. There is a suggestion now that could be against the law of New York State. And, they didn't realize that. Trump clearly didn't realize that. And so there could be a whole new crime now, which is where these congressional Republicans have tried to interfere with an ongoing case, instigated, once again, by Donald Trump, just saying anything to try and get support and get out of this. He is backed up against a wall. There are now potentially more crimes to indict him for and more investigations. Jack Smith has had breakthroughs, we're hearing as well. He is, of course, the special counsel looking into the overturning of the election, the insurrection, as well as, of course, the Espionage Act, the idea that he had stolen classified documents and kept them at Mar-a-Lago. We're even hearing now that his lawyer is having to give evidence, against his own client in this case. So really this house of cards is collapsing in on Donald Trump. Now, I say this with no relish. I care enormously about the United States having a balanced political system, a left and a right, hopefully something in between, having healthy opposition, having healthy debate, and operating a functioning democracy. That's what I care about. What I care not for is a dictator, an autocrat, somebody who thinks they are above the law, seeking to be the kind of de facto leader of a Republican Party in this case, and caring not for standards or for process or protocol, but just wanting to be this kind of authority figure who is king of the country. That would ultimately be his dream, to reign forever. Well, it seems that Donald Trump's reign is about to be cut much shorter than he would have hoped. I'm Anthony Davis. You can hear me every day on the 5-Minute News podcast and on Sundays with an hour-long interview show called The Weekend Show with MeidasTouch.
Lock him up! Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new Indictment Season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.MeidasTouch.com.